So another week of Detroit sports is in the books. The Pistons had a bit of a 50-50 mixed bag out west with their West Coast road trip. The Red Wings free fall continues after the Four Nations break with the trade deadline coming and going. And Tiger spring training continues to roll on. So let's see how Detroit sports fared this week. Just another week of up and down baseball for the Tigers. A couple wins, a bunch of wins, a few losses, but ending the week on a high note with a win against Pittsburgh in spring training. So that continues to roll on, Not much to say else with the Tigers. I mean, it's spring training. Not many people care, to be honest. We're honestly just counting down the days until opening day begins. And of course, the Tigers have announced some of their starting lineups for opening day, including the return of Javi Baez at shortstop. God fucking damn it, why is Javi Baez still with the Tigers? I thought we agreed to get rid of his ass after last season when he was one of the worst players in baseball. Hell, Javier going down with injury was one of the best things to happen to Tigers, because once Javi went down, that's when the Tigers got their shit together and played better. God damn it. I mean, the only hope here is maybe Javi Baez fucking bounces back and has a bounce-back season and plays better. But with how bad he was last year, that's not really a high bar to clear. Sometimes I just don't get this organization. Still better than the Red Wings right now, though, that's for fucking sure. And what a lead way right into the Red Wings segment of this recap. Man, what a way of how did I plan this all together. But yeah, anyway, for the Red Wings, it was another struggling week for the winged wheel. As we begin to mark the month of March, and the Wings' free fall continues. As they went on another losing streak. As they ended up losing to Carolina in a very close game. They were in it. Until Carolina ripped their hearts out with it in the closing minutes of the third period. And then the Wings followed that up by completely no-showing against Utah in their first game against the Utah Hockey Club. Honestly, Utah, get a fucking real name already, goddammit. It's fucking stupid calling it a hockey club. Like, honestly, Utah Hockey Club, what a stupid fucking name. Alright, bad enough we lost to them. But yeah, and then of course, the Wings looked like they were probably going to snap the losing streak Saturday against Washington when they had a 2-1 lead entering the third. Even keeping Alex Ovechkin off the score sheet the entire game while Ovechkin's on his great pursuit to pass Wayne Gretzky on the all-time goal-scoring list. And as of this recording, Ovechkin is currently 9 goals away from passing Wayne Gretzky with 19 games left in the Capitals season. Yeah, I'll be honest, I think Ovechkin is going to pass Gretzky this year. Like, he should easily pass Gretzky, no problem. I'll be perfectly honest, if Ovechkin didn't have that leg injury where he missed 2-3 months with that leg injury, he would have passed Gretzky probably 2-3 months ago. Or he would have been past Gretzky by now, because he easily could have got 9 goals in that amount of time he missed with the leg injury. But anyway, back to the game itself, though. The Wings had a 2-1 lead entering the third against Washington, and then the Wings completely imploded like they are right now. By giving up 4 goals in the third period to let Washington sneak off into the night with a 5-2 win. So now the Wings, they're literally repeating last year's. Now the Wings are on a 5-game losing streak. And are now out of the playoffs by 2 points. Literally, it's the same goddamn situation as last year. Just the difference last year is we had Derek alone coaching and we had Larkin go down with an injury. This season, though, no Derek alone. It's the Todd Fodder coaching, and we have a healthy Dylan Larkin, and yet the result is still the same as last year. Like, it's like, hey, I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same, am I right? And of course, with the trade deadline, the Wings and Steve Yzerman, this was Yzerman's time to cook, and Yzerman did absolutely nothing for the second year in a row. As Yzerman spent more time trading pieces away than doing anything. Trading a few minor pieces away, as the only moves the Wings made this deadline was trading Billy Hustle to Anaheim in exchange for future considerations, aka absolutely nothing. And then the Wings capped off the deadline by trading Joe Foligno to Shitoilet. in exchange for Craig Smith, the fourth liner, and bringing back Peter Mrazek for a second stint. Seriously, Steve and Todd, you think Mrazek is a better option than Sebastian Cossa? At least last year, we had Simon Edvinsson get called up to the main roster. And the Wings, I think they were going to try to do something like that against Utah with Carter Mazur, as he got called up and then got injured on his first shift. That's pretty bad luck for Carter Mazur. He really got... That's just unfortunate for him. That just sucks. But really, honestly, I don't know why the fuck Cossa isn't called up. Honestly, Cossa should be on the roster. He's better option at backup than what we fucking have right now. Like, honestly, Cossa should be the backup to Cam Talbot, not Alex Lyon, and definitely not Peter Mrazek. Hell, Mrazek's been one of the worst fucking goalies in the NHL since December 1st. And you think he's a better option than Cossa? Piss off. But yeah, I think everybody needs to start asking the question, what the fuck is going up with the Yzer plan? Is it really a Yzer plan, or is it becoming a Yzer scam? But yeah, just pretty disappointing. Like honestly, and this is year fucking 6 of the Yzer plan. Like, we should not be in this goddamn position 6 years into a rebuild. And for anyone who wants to make excuses saying, oh, look what he inherited from Ken Holland when he first got here to now. Let me just name some things real quick here. Scott Harrison, 1 year with the Tigers, took the Tigers from being a fucking mediocre dumpster fire to the playoffs, and not only that, got them a playoff series win against Houston and took Cleveland to their limit in 1 year. Hell, look at the Pistons this year with Trajan Langdon. In 1 year, Trajan Langdon has took the Pistons from being a complete laughingstock in the NBA to being on the verge of making the playoffs in 1 year. Hell, in 1 year, the Pistons have won more games with Cade Cunningham this year than they had in Cade's first 3 years combined. And then look at Brad Holmes with the Lions. In 3 years with the Lions, Brad Holmes took the Lions, who were a complete fucking joke and a punching bag in the NFL, and had him 30 minutes away from making the Super Bowl, and arguably in year 4 would have got the Lions to a Super Bowl if the entire defense didn't get injured to hell and back. And for him, we got Steve Yzerman in 6 years with the Wings, has done absolutely nothing. It's pretty disappointing. I think we need to have serious conversations about Yzerman. Like, honestly, I feel like if the Wings miss the playoffs again, which if they do will be the 9th straight year with no playoffs for the Wings, I think a lot of fans are going to start turning on Steve Yzerman and calling for his head. Because this is completely unacceptable. Like, he hasn't done well in free agent signings. Like, the only thing Yzerman has done well with has been drafting, which he's been really good at drafting. One problem with it is, we haven't seen a lot of the prospects on the roster yet. And if anything, Steve Yzerman's been in free agency, has made the same mistakes that Ken Holland has made, where he signs a bunch of old banged-up veterans to take roster spots away from all the young guys. Like, we can't really gauge what we really got in our young prospect pool in the farm system until we get them on the main roster just to see what they got. I'm not saying any of them will turn this team around, but I at least want to see what we got in them and see if they're worth a long-term investment. But yeah, just pretty disappointing with the Wings so far. And it's looking like so far, especially with how brutal the Wings schedule is to end the season, it's slowly starting to look like another year of no playoffs. Again. And I think we need to start having some serious questions about the Yzer plan. And Yzerman. And now we turn things down to the Pistons, as let's try and end this recap on some positivity, shall we? As the Pistons start their 4-game road trip out west, starting the road trip up in Utah against the Jazz. And hey, even though the Wings struggled against Utah, the Pistons sure as hell didn't struggle against Utah, as the Pistons completely dominated the Jazz and completely beat the crap out of them, giving Utah that good old belt to ass and hammering the shit out of Utah. And then they would take that road trip out to Los Angeles to the Clippers' new stadium, which I'll be honest, I like the Clippers' new stadium. That fucking stadium looks fucking cool. Too bad people don't show up for it because LA will never be a Clippers city. LA will always be a Lakers and Dodgers city. But yeah, and of course the Pistons got in a dogfight with the Clippers, but this time the Clippers would be the one to come out on top as the Pistons fell short with the Clippers pulling away late in the fourth. Even despite the Pistons' best efforts, they still fell short against the Clippers. So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Hey, you win some, you lose some, I guess. And then they would go on to Golden State to face the Warriors. And the Warriors was another absolute dogfight where the Warriors got out to a big lead early, but the Pistons would battle back and even had the lead late in the fourth quarter until Steph Curry and Draymond Jones ripped the Pistons' hearts right out of their chest. And the Pistons would fall short as they just could not seal the deal against Golden State. That's just the pains of being a young team. They're still, even though they've done a really good job and a lot of progress, though, they're still trying to figure out how to finish games. Especially against a pretty solid team like Golden State, because they still got Steph and they still got Draymond Green. But of course, the Pistons, they would bounce right back as even though they lost 2 straight games on this road trip, the losing would not last too long as they went up to Portland and hammered the Trailblazers. Even though the Blazers tried to make it close, the Pistons would pull away late in the fourth quarter to beat them by 17. As the Pistons, they ended this 4-game road trip winning 2 out of 4, so they split the road trip, which that's not horrible. I mean, that could have gone worse, to be perfectly honest. Seeing how the Pistons have been the last couple of years on this type of road trip, that all could have gone pretty bad. That could have gone worse. But hey, 2 out of 4 ain't bad. Pistons still have a long gap in terms of the Eastern Conference standings, as they're still 6th in the Eastern Conference and now 36 and 29, 65 games down, as there's only 17 games left in the season. And of course, in terms of the standings, the Pistons still 5.5 games ahead of Atlanta for 6th in the Eastern Conference, so they got a pretty good gap. So the Pistons definitely have some mulligans in the bank to play with. But of course, that is in terms of the 6th spot. Of course, the Pistons don't really got many mulligans in terms of trying to climb up the standings, because the Pistons are still a game behind Milwaukee for 4th. And there's a potential outside shot they could go to 3rd in the Eastern Conference, because in terms of the East, they're not that far away behind the Knicks for 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Because they're only 5 games behind the Knicks for 3rd in the Eastern Conference, so they're not that far out. And of course, in terms of the play-in overall, the Pistons are 13 games ahead of Philadelphia for 10th. In terms of the play-in with 17 games to go. So at this point in the year, I think it's safe to say the Pistons are guaranteed a spot at least in the play-in tournament. But we all have bigger goals than that. I honestly want to get that be top 6 and not have to worry about that stupid play-in. And oh, by the way, if the playoffs started today, the Pistons will be playing the New York Knicks in the first round, which means in terms of any trash talk, it'll be me versus NYG31 again. Hey, NYG, long time no see, buddy. There's a chance Pistons and Knicks could meet in the first round. But of course, the Pistons still got bigger goals to fry because we still want to get that 4th spot. And maybe I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, still 17 games left. A lot to still be decided. And of course, for every team left, there's still 1 goal remaining. Don't get eliminated. See you next week.